Hello, Doug Fessler down in the lab today, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do one of the first basic programs using the Arduino Uno microcontroller. We're going to be blinking an LED, so let's get started. What you're looking at right here is the Arduino Uno microcontroller, and we are going to use the built-in program to blink this LED right on the board. And then the second part, I'm going to show you how we can blink this LED. Now, I pre-wired this circuit beforehand just to make it easier for the explanation. If you look at the program here, this is called the Arduino Sketch. It's the programming environment, and there's two basic areas that every sketch can be broken down to: the void setup and the void loop. And if you notice that there's a bracket here and a bracket here, and anything in between those two brackets you put code in there is tied to the void setup. And the same goes here. Anything between this loop bracket and this one down here has to do with the loop. Just like the text says here, you put your code here, it only runs once, which means when you first fire up this board and it gets power, it will look for the code in here and it'll only run it once. Once it gets to the bottom, it jumps to the loop, and it'll go from the top of the loop to the bottom of the loop, back to the top, back to the bottom, but whatever code in here, it'll repeatedly run in a loop. One of the first programs, like I said, we're going to do is the Blink program, and it's built in. If you go to File, Examples, Basics, Blink, the code will come up here. Let me make it bigger. And if you look down here, here is the void setup, which I spoke about inside the brackets. And here's the code. It's actually in the brackets. This is just a comment. It doesn't count. But we're basically assigning a pin mode, LED built-in, comma output. Basically what that means, LED built-in is a constant built into the Arduino board for its diagnostics. That's why this built-in LED is here. They actually have it for diagnostic purposes, and they're just kind of leaning on it on this sketch just to show how to blink an LED, and also make you aware that, hey, if you want to troubleshoot your board, there's an LED in here that you can just get the basic functionality of your board is working. And they're setting that to an output, which, if you think about it, makes sense. The Arduino is sending something out to a component. It's not reading something in from a component. So we initialize that and set that. And little known fact, LED built-in is actually assigned to pin 13, and pin 13 is right here, actually right across from the LED. So we get into the void loop, and we have a digital write. We're writing something out. We're writing it out to the LED built-in, and we're sending a high signal. Take notice, this is, you interface this with USB. USB has 5 volts DC current. The board runs on 5 volts DC. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending a 5 volt high signal to this LED in order to turn it on. We're going to delay for 1 second, and then we're going to do another digital write to the LED built in, and then we're going to do low, which is going to turn it off. We're going to delay 1 second, and then it's basically going to go up to the top, and it's going to repeat forever and ever until the device blows up one or the other. So one of the things you want to do is verify that you actually have the correct board selected, which I do, the Uno, and the correct port, which I do, because I need to upload. I upload it through the USB connection here. Just gotta make sure I have the proper thing. Once that is all good, you can click this arrow here and upload your sketch into the Arduino Uno. And once I do this, pay attention right here. You'll see some blinks which indicate that it's uploading the sketch. And then keep your eye right there. So I'm compiling the sketch, and yep, uploaded. And there you go, we're blinking an LED. Isn't that amazing? I say that sarcastically because I know when I first did this, I bought the Arduino starter kit, which don't regret buying, but it's about $100. It comes with all the components and a walkthrough and whatnot. This is one of the first things that they do for you, and I ran through it and I uploaded it, and I'm like, oh wow, I paid $100 for this. But now, granted, later on down the road, I understand the reason why they're doing this. Like I said, it's a to kill one bird, two birds with one stone. You're basically learning that this is a diagnostic LED, and you're learning how to blink an LED, sending a high and low voltage to a particular pin, and in this case, that would be pin 13. But I don't want to do. I want to take it a step further. I want to actually light this LED. Now, I already pre-wired this. I have this hooked into pin 7 here, and if you follow the light over here, it goes directly into the resistor. This resistor is protecting this LED. Remember I told you that there's a 5-volt signal that comes out? If I put 5 volts directly to this, I'll burn it out. Now, you might be asking, why isn't this burning out? There's a built-in resistor to this. Now, being that I'm jumping off the board, I have to be careful of what components I put. I have to protect them. So this LED needs protection from this resistor. It's a 333 ohm resistor. The current will jump through here, go through the LED, the light emitting diode. It'll light it up, and then this basically goes to ground. And over here, the pin out is ground. Now I got to come back over to my code here, and I'm going to show you here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to actually copy all this, and I'm going to make a new program here. Make it big. Paste it in here. Because I know I want to blink it. Right here's the code to blink it, so I could retype it if I want to, but I'm just cheating. I'm copying and pasting. Well, it's not really cheating, but I want to do pin 7. So I need to make an integer. I'm going to call that integer LED. I can call anything I want to. I'm going to call it LED. And it's going to equal what pin it is, pin 7. I'm going to close it up with a semicolon because in the Arduino, you have to, every line of code, you have to put this after. You see here, it basically gives the instruction set for the Arduino to drop down to the next line of code. Now down here, pin mode. So up here I created a variable that's an integer, and I assigned the number 7 to it. That's what I did. So here where I'm basically assigning the output. It's not input, it's output, because I want to send a signal out of the Arduino into a component. All I need to change is this right here, LED. So pin mode LED, which equals 7, set it to output. Set pin 7 to output. Send an output voltage out pin 7. Out pin 7 into here. Drop down into loop. I gotta do the same thing here. I gotta change this to LED. I gotta change this to LED. That's it. So I can save this here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to compile the sketch to make sure I have no syntax errors, which I don't. I compiled successfully. And now it's time for me to upload it. And if I give you this view here, come back over and upload it. If I have everything wired correctly, there it is. It's blinking. So there it is. 1 second on, 1 second off. So we successfully wired it up, modified the code, and blinked an LED outside of the Arduino Uno. And if you notice, this isn't blinking anymore. This stopped blinking because anytime you upload code, you overwrite the old code on there. So basically here I can set this to 100, upload this, and you should see the blink rate change quicker. And there's a reset button here. So when I reset this, it's going to run this code again because it's whatever the last code is in it is going to run. There you go. It's running it. So yeah. So there you have it. One of the first basic programs that you can do with the Arduino Uno microcontroller is blink an LED. Took it just a baby step further and took the LED off of the internal board onto a breadboard and controlled that. Now you can take it even further. This is how it is, like building blocks. I can now control 2 LEDs. Maybe I want to make a doll that has evil blinking eyes. I don't know. I don't know. But then there's other components like servos, and you can keep going on from there. Of any type of electronic component you think of that you can send those voltages or read voltages from, and build those circuits and control it with this microcontroller. So basically, the limit is your imagination with these things. I hope that you enjoyed viewing this. Take care. Bye bye.